Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shearer, and I'm the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password, or check our website, www.cslpv.org. On the weekly talk section, you'll find the link there. Today is the last Sunday of December and of this year. We are following our monthly topic, Sticking to the Landing. And the topic for today is expanding at the top. So at this time, I'd like to once again welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here at Puerto Vallarta, whether you are on the live Zoom call or watching the replay at a later time. We teach a philosophy that honors all faith traditions. So whatever path you are on, please know that it is the right one for you. And no matter what your background is, please know that everyone is welcome here. We value each and every one of you. As I mentioned, we teach a philosophy called the science of mind. It's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. We offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And we honor diversity in all aspects. When Dr. Ernest Holmes first studied this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the science of mind, which focuses on the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. When asked for a concise definition of the teaching, he had replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. So each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message. We have our Zoom meeting at 10 a.m., and our in-person meetings will resume on Sundays at 12 on Calle Venezuela at Café La Ventana, as soon as I complete my healing from my facial treatment for medical purposes. So hopefully in January, but I will keep you posted on when that will begin, or you can contact me and let me know if you will be here, and we'll try to make that happen. So once again, welcome to our Zoom meeting and joining us here online. Either way, whether it's in person or online, stick around after and join us for some coffee and great conversation with like-minded people. So as we do each week, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate our diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, creating the life you desire. And this is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And more on all of these can be found on our website in its own drop-down section. So check that out if you're interested in learning more. So as we complete this year of a grand rising, we look forward to what's next. How do we take all that we've learned this year and rise into the next year? We say that we are open at the top, and it's one thing to be open, but it's another thing to expand into that openness. There's an old Zen saying that goes like this: When you get to the top of the mountain, keep climbing. The principles, the mountain, stay the same. Our relation to them expands as our minds, hearts, and wisdom expand. It's comfortable to stay in our old, tired, and true way of being, but growth does not happen in the old comfort. We need to step out and step out. In The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes wrote this: as our thought is open and we behold the image of eternity within ourselves, we are changed by this image into a newness of life. So let's contemplate 4 of Dr. Ernest Holmes' often spoken ideas. Number 1, principle is not bound by precedent. Number 2, evolution is always forward. Number 3, we are to be open at the top. And number 4, we are to be for something and against nothing. These ideas both open a vista and a point, they point us in a direction of consciousness for moving forward. There's no going back. We can't redo yesterday. We can only do now and moving forward with that now tomorrow. We are individualized expressions of infinite beingness, and therefore we are inherently unlimited. We can do anything moving forward with an open mind. Any restrictions, constrictions, or blockages of the divine flow are self-created out of fear and the belief in separateness from chaos and old night, as Holmes liked to say, quoting Milton's poem from the same name. So as we breathe deeply and become aware of the external flow of the spirit through us, we expand in our ability to more fully experience and express that spirit. We find new ways to express the eternal principle that guides the universe. We find new ways to be spirit in form. In the Sermon by the Sea, Ernest Holmes said this: it would be wonderful indeed if a group of people should arrive on Earth who were for something and against nothing. This would be the summum bonum of human organization. So I actually had to check out that summum bonum, and it is a Latin expression meaning the highest or ultimate good. So it's important to recognize that we are open at the top, as well as grounded in a foundation of spiritual principles. And as we begin the journey of awakening, we learn and apply these principles to our life using practices and methods. We begin to see our lives change, shift, and grow into the lives of greater peace, prosperity, love, and so much more. As we place spirit at the center of our consciousness, it shows up in ever-expanding ways at our circumstances, the circumstances of our lives. We begin to understand how this works. We move from a consciousness of life happens to me to life happening by me, and then to life happening through me. Expansion, growth, awareness. We become more skilled at working in alignment with life and spirit, and it shows all over our lives. And there can be a tendency as our lives work better to sit, rest, and say, this is enough. And yet, as Ernest Holmes reminds us, evolution is always forward. The divine urge of life itself always pushes toward greater and greater expression. There is no there to arrive at, only stepping stones along the pavement of time on our journey. So keep moving forward. Another quote from the Sermon by the Sea by Ernest Holmes is this: there is a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants, demonstrating a dime is good if one needs it, or healing oneself of a pain is certainly good if one has it. But beyond all that, at the real feast, at the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, in the banquet hall of heaven, there is something beyond anything that you and I have touched. So as we create lives which are in greater alignment with life as spirit, we have not only the opportunity, but also the responsibility to expand that life beyond our own individuality. Since all forms of life are spirit in form, and all form is contained within a unity, to truly expand our experience and expression of spirit, we must support the experience and expression of spirit in all forms of life. Thus, as we become more grounded in spiritual principle and practice, we are called to share with others. We are called to reach out beyond our comfort zones and help those who are not as adept at life yet. Yet our outreach must always be grounded in principle, grounded in supporting the expansion of spiritual awareness and expression. Just giving a hand out doesn't help. We must give a hand up in consciousness to support our fellow beings in creating lives they love as well. The saying, no one is free until all are free, points us in the interconnectedness of all forms of life. We must become willing to not just be aware that we are open at the top, but to expand into that openness. So if you find somebody in your community that needs more, help them out, help them up, help them to understand from their perspective, from their eyes. Here's a little story. A young man used to go hiking in the Cascade Mountains in Washington State. There was a particular trail that led to an alpine lake, which was supposed to be very beautiful. The trail was 7 miles long. It began easily, but soon changed to a steep uphill pitch for 3 miles across rocks and boulders. About 4 miles up this trail was a lovely level spot. The young man used to stop for lunch, enjoy the view of the waterfall across the ravine, and read or write some poetry. After a while, he would decide that that was far enough. Eventually, though, he decided he really did want to see the Alpine Lake. So, after several times of stopping and turning around, one day he committed to going further. To his surprise, he found that the trail became easier and more level. Soon he was able to see the lake up ahead and finally stand in the place he had always wanted to be, but had settled instead for a nice lunch and abandoned his goal. Eventually, he had gone beyond his discomfort and fear that the whole trail would be a struggle and arrived at a place he had only read about. So imagine if you could just take that one extra step to step outside of your comfort zone and to see that there is so much more beyond that fear that you had of moving forward. Ruben Elves wrote this in Creating a World That Works for All. Actually, it was the book Creating a World That Works for All was written by Sharif Abdullah. And Ruben Elvis quoted from that book saying, "The frontiers of the possible are not determined by the limits of the actual. And in a miraculous and unexpected way, life is preparing the creative events which will open the way to freedom and resurrection." So often, what keeps us from expanding are two things. One, fear, fear that we will lose what we have. And two, not knowing how. The fear that we will lose that which we have is based on a consciousness of lack of the infinite supply of good. Good is ever expanding, and our expanding with spirit simply expands our good. We can never exhaust nor lose the infinite supply. And as we work in alignment with the flow of evolution, the flow of spirit, we are not overwhelmed or overburdened by expanding our experience of a more all-encompassing good. It's only when we constrict from fear that things get difficult. And when we don't know how, we turn to spirit. The saying, "The what is ours, the how is God's," reminds us that the law knows how, the law of the universe. It is simply ours to expand our vision of what that good looks like. What does a world of love that truly works for all look and feel like? We may have no idea how, but there is an infinite intelligence that does know, if we're willing to tap into that mind, that one mind. So what if it's never happened before? Principle is not bound by precedence. Ernest Holmes wrote this: "If we really believe that all things are possible to God, then we should no longer deny that God knows what to do with its own creation. And we should most certainly include ourselves in that creation." So as we close out the year, there's a few questions you might like to ponder. What is my spiritual evolution calling forward in my life? And how am I responding? What fears, beliefs, or reluctance keeps me from expanding at the top? What's holding us back? And what can I do to shake up my complacency? How can I become more willing to go on to the next great adventure? Well, I say, just do it. So the flow of the divine life is always expanding. When we get scared or fail to see the path, we step out of the flow and get lost. But the flow is always available for us to step back into. It's okay to rest, but getting stuck and staying there limits us. This is like when you're swimming in the ocean and you get caught in a riptide. You panic and try to swim to the shore, but you don't get any closer. You can't fight the riptide. Instead, if you just go with the flow and swim horizontal to the shore, you will eventually become free and safely swim ashore. Dr. Holmes calls for us to be for something and against nothing. We can't get caught up in fighting circumstances. The gift we have to give is our understanding that consciousness is cause. The gift is the understanding that everything begins in mind and that the universe is a place of love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy, abundantly expressing. Suffering is not of God. Our gift is that we understand that changing and expanding our consciousness changes our circumstances. So let's share our great gift with the world. Let us not keep religious science just for religious scientists, but take it out everywhere, in every way, in every form, into a world that hungers for it, with the soul of each person that knows it, what the soul of each person knows is true. We do this by the way we show up in the world. So let us find ways to let reality align with reality. And let us step up and expand our vision, not stuck in what we don't want, but as the vision for which our spirit calls us. What's calling you? Step up and do that. This is our gift, and sharing this gift can truly create a grand rising. And I'll leave you with this quote. If we look deep within for a moment and ask how we can change our outlook, we will at least be on the right track. I've heard someone say that if we want something we've never seen, we have to do something we've never tried. And this brings us to our affirmation for today. I create exciting new ways to experience and express spirit. I say yes to life. And now it's time for updates at our center. If you're interested in learning more about the science of mind teaching, we offer courses both in person and via Zoom. So connect with me or check our website to find out the details of upcoming courses. And let me know if there's a specific course, class, workshop, book study, or even meditation that you would be interested in taking, and we can plan for dates for these as well. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for spiritual mind treatment to assist you with whatever is going on in your life, or experience some more of what you are experiencing, then please connect with me. If you would like to commit to being a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this upcoming year, as membership is renewed annually, or if you'd like to be on our board of trustees, please contact us to receive the current forms. And I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. And now is our time for mindfully giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. We bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every donation is greatly appreciated, no matter the amount. Donations can be made using PayPal or Tidely from our website, and you'll find the donate buttons on both the landing page as well as on the page where you find the weekly talks. Our website is www.cslpv.org. And look around because there's a lot of other interesting things that you'll find on there as well. Also, if you still like to write out paper checks, you can address them to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y 8M1. And now please join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing this time together. May you find joy and prosperity in 2025. And let's continue with practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. So may peace and love be with you. Blessings to all. Namaste.